Now, what's the last thing you posted on Facebook or Instagram? And was it something you'd be happy for your boss to see? Well, with workplace surveillance on the rise, unions are rallying to stamp out employers who snoop on their staff's socials.
A silly video, a rant about your boss, or a cheeky holiday pic when you've chucked a sickie. There might be some things you post online that are best kept hidden from your employer.
Samuel?
Yo.
Why did you say you were sick last week, but you posted a photo of a fireplace in a ski lodge?
Is that me? Oh, no, I had a temperature, so I had to go to the ski lodge and that fire to sweat it out, specifically.
But you also put up a story saying, shots, shots, shots.
Flu shots. Shots. I'm not getting sick again.
Now, in a move that would help Sam out, a coalition of unions is calling for a total ban on employees stalking their staff's social media.
People are entitled to have a private life. A few things that you might say on a couple of social media posts late on a Friday night are not something that you should be hauled in front of your employer for.
Unions accusing bosses of overreach, with almost half of employees' online activity monitored by their employers.
It's not right that bosses are trawling people's social media. All workplace surveillance should be subject to consultation and transparency. So workers are currently being watched and monitored in all sorts of ways that they know nothing about.
And there's no shortage of bosses using that information to punish or even fire their workers. One high school staff member stood down for posting images advertising a brothel. A police member fired over comments about LGBTQIA groups.
Pretty easy to find someone's workplace these days, and I think there's a lot of public expectation on employers as to how they manage their brand as well and the conduct of their employees when they're connected to it.
Businesses are pushing back against the union ban.
What some of this proposed legislation does is puts limits on employers' ability to use what is largely publicly available information. Most Aussies actually understand that, look, we do need to be responsible for what we do and how that impacts on the workplace as well.
So is it fair that workers pay the price for what they post?
Shots. The ladies love us when we pour shots.
Or do bosses need to get their snouts out of our socials?
Wow.
I've got the opposite problem. I'm trying to follow my boss on Instagram and he won't accept. Yeah, so
maybe he doesn't want you to know what he gets up to.
Well, I guess he does, but I want to see what he's up to, you know. But yeah, he doesn't.
You've got me intrigued about him now.
Yeah, he's an interesting
We'll
guy.
talk about that later.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think the union's right on this. I think they're
I don't
half right, but not in the way that I think they think.
No, like I don't like the idea of surveillance of your workplace or your boss surveilling you as you go about, you know, your daily activities. But if you put something on socials, it's a publishing sort of thing.
It's like putting it on a billboard.
Yeah, right. So it's like if you're old-fashioned, printing it in the newspaper, right? So
Yeah.
I think there is an onus on people. If you don't want your boss or anyone else to find out what you're up to, select all your privacy settings and put them on private. And that's probably the thing that we're probably not quite there yet with. You know, I think a lot of people want privacy, but there's actually some things there's steps you've got to take first to get there.
What would happen, though, if someone has gone to the effort of doing all of that and then still somehow a workplace has found a video of theirs that's been recorded and then sent to them, or, you know, and it's like, is it still, in that case, is that still a right to that person's privacy?
Okay, so
or now that's been taken into the public realm?
I think we're confusing two problems. I think employers have every right to look at your social media, and if something comes to them, they can look at it. I think the problem arises when employers think they have the right to sack or discipline people for things that should not be part of their concern.
Okay.
So, for example, you can't blame an employer for noticing that you said that thing that they politically object to. But you can say to an employer, you don't get to sack someone because they have a political opinion you don't like, or whatever. And I think that's the conflation. And part of the problem is us, right? Because someone posts something on social media or whatever, and we go, oh, this is outrage, you've got to sack them. And we forget the workers' rights element of the whole thing.
And then how far back do you go, right? Is it something that someone posted 10 years ago and their opinions might have changed?
Yeah.